Hi, I'm Anjali. I am a fourth-year statistics major with a minor in computer science. I've been involved with compileHer for the past 3 years. I was a volunteer my second year for the hackathon and the capstone, and then my third year I joined the board. I was a general member for the curriculum team, and now I'm the co-director this year.
So my name's Lilly. I'm a third year. I'm a computer science and political science double major. I've been part of compileHer for around 2.5 years now, since the beginning of my first year.
I've always really liked teaching. I think it's really important to work with younger kids because that's when their brains are really developing and that's when they get excited about different things. And I think at that age specifically, it's very important to not get discouraged from things. So I think teaching was always something that I wanted to do and help kids with.
I chose to get involved with compileHer because it seemed really cool to be able to have an impact on young girls and teach them about STEM, get them more involved in technology at a lot younger an age. It just seemed like a really solid community and an important mission that I cared about.
So the general process of coming up with curriculum is basically the curriculum team will meet and we'll brainstorm ideas of things that maybe we did as kids that we really liked that got us excited about computer science.
We don't really have like one super set curriculum of like, oh, they need to learn about if statements, they need to learn about for loops, etc. It's more just what are some cool technologies that we could teach them about that even if they only go to one lesson and only take away that one thing, they will have learned something and they will have learned some cool application of technology. And we do a lot of block-based coding just because it removes the challenges of typing. It makes it a little bit more exploratory as opposed to you need to know what you want to do before you're able to actually do anything, and then kind of collaborating, sharing it with others, iterating over the design, and then trying to teach it, seeing how it goes, and then improving it for next time based on that.
It's been really cool being able to go into a classroom and say, okay, now come up with like a create your own adventure in Scratch, and the girls get really excited, and you get to go and you help them learn the basics of this language, and then they're able to come up with something really cool and take it home and show their parents, and it's really fun to see the girls get really excited about these things.
Very often very rewarding, sometimes a little surprising when you run into things that seemed pretty straightforward but they like really get hung up on, or maybe they really enjoyed something that you thought was just maybe an afterthought. So it definitely really informs how we develop future things based on how they react.
My favorite lesson has definitely been the drones lesson. Just because the girls are the most excited about drones, and it's a culmination of all of the things that they've learned, because we did the Scratch lesson initially, and then they go into Finch robots, and then finally they get to apply all of what they've learned with Scratch and that type of programming to drones, which is something that's like really cool, and you see it in actual life. I think sometimes it's difficult, especially when you're teaching a lesson that is more on the difficult side. So for example, in the cryptography lesson, we're getting discouraged and they didn't really want to finish or continue doing the lesson. But there was one group of girls, these two girls, that just like they wanted to continue doing it. They were chugging along and they finally cracked the code and they were really excited, and then them being really excited got all of the other girls really excited, and like then in the end everybody ended up finishing the workshop and getting excited about cryptography, so that was cool.
For compileHer, I would say I'm just looking forward to being able to reach more girls in the area, whether that be through our major events like the hackathon and capstone, or just through like more workshops, coming up with more cool ideas. I think every single quarter our workshops get more and more cool because we're building on some of the stuff that we've done in the past. We're learning from things that didn't work out so well, or just like coming up with creative new ideas, which I think providing this type of workshop lessons where they get, or so early on, like you can be involved in tech, here are all of the cool things you can do, is just super valuable.
With compileHer, I'm excited to see it continue growing and impacting girls around Chicago. And then with girls in tech in general, I think right now is a really important time. Girls are getting more excited about computer science, and it's less, the gender gap is diminishing, so I'm just really excited to see it completely go away.
It's really only upwards from here.
Just push through. If it's something that you're really excited about, there are so many other people that are with you, and just find other people that you can connect with about sharing your love for technology, and you'll get through it, and it's definitely worth it.
Main piece of advice would be just try it. There are a lot of super cool things that you can do with technology that you would never imagine. Like maybe it's sitting behind a computer at a traditional software engineering job, but maybe it's something completely different, but it's still using coding in some respect, and you won't know until you try it. I think a lot of people are blocked by like, oh, I'm not a mathy person, or like I don't like, my brain doesn't work that way, and then they're scared to try it, even if it's like in a field that they're really passionate about, but you won't know until you try it. So definitely just experiment. If one form of technology or coding doesn't work, try something different, because there's just so many different options and so many different paths you can explore.